First of all, I mean, I explained to you about this question of being told that I was a Negro. Secondly, the whole question of growing up with an understanding of one world, one people, trying to unite people, not to have racial hatred against any particular group. All those things were just principles that guided me throughout my life. In terms of the thing about the education, I didn't want to go into I only, that's a contradiction into my mother. I mean, like, in terms of, she was a very beautiful person, don't misunderstand me. But she was encouraging me always to make decisions for myself. But on this particular issue of what I should study in high school, I mean, she objected to what I wanted to do. I mean, I wanted to take a college preparatory course. Now, and I point this out in my book, I mean, that, she said, well, you got to be able to get a job. I can understand her concern about that, but I think that the position of what does a person want to do himself in terms of his or her, or a female too, in terms of their education, and that one of the ways that this particular, I mean, I got a job, I got a paycheck and so forth and so on. But it's not what I wanted to do. I mean, but it was something that I had to do in order to, because at the time, but I was able to come back into school and catch up with my classmates, and that
But how did you turn that corner? Was there something in particular? Was there someone in particular?
No, there's not. One, if you want to say that, I mean, it was the man that I was working with. I mean, we had a job. We used to take these big papers. I don't know if you know anything about printing. Mm-hmm. But this is very important because, I decided, okay, well, since, if I have to get a job, I mean, I want to get a job dealing with words, W-O-R-D-S, not, and that, so that and I'm very grateful for that kind of concept now, because I see that, it has to do with books I've written and what have you, But it's not, I don't think these things are just one thing. I mean, I don't think that it's just one thing that helps people to do these things. I think it's the question, I think it's very important. One of the basic things is how do they see their lives at a young stage? And I guess perhaps, if anything, it's the question I was thinking about, that we have to try to encourage young people to go to the library on their own, to go to the library and just to look at books and feel books. What's in this book? What's in this library? Where's the closest library to me? And that if we can, even in this city, in Washington, D.C., like there are a lot of people who do not understand the tremendous advantages that they have, with the Library of Congress here. And I know that because I've taught school here, and that I try to get the students to understand where they are. They're in a position of extreme uniqueness in Washington, D.C., because you have the Library of Congress, and that I've taken, even I taught a couple of semesters at University of District of Columbia, where I would take the students to the Library of Congress so that they could see inside the Library of Congress, And a lot of children here and adults, they never make it to Capitol Hill. They never go to sit in the balcony, and yet some people come from, pay $900, just to travel to Washington, D.C., but people right here, and I try to encourage, and I'm still trying to do that, encourage people in Washington, D.C., and I would say in any city, try to make it to the library. I mean, try to encourage yourself, regardless of what it is, just if you can just make it to the library yourself and begin to just look around in the library or feel a book, and touch a book.